And now, Working Man Radio with your host, Joe Lyles.
What if your daughter was dating a Mexican? What if your daughter, I'm talking to the white folks, maybe the black folks. If you're Mexican, you probably don't care if your daughter's dating a Mexican. What if I'm talking to the white folks, what if your daughter's dating a Negro? She's going out with a Negro. Do you like her going out with a Negro? Suppose you find out that her and her Negro boyfriend have been getting up in the backseat of his car. What do you think about that? Is that possible? Is it possible that your daughter might be getting up with a Negro voluntarily? What do you think about that? Find out she's been getting up with her Negro boyfriend. What do you think? You might like to go out and get you a morning after pill? Would you like to have that available? Or do you believe there have to be consequences? There have to be consequences. Is this the most important issue to you? The Republican Party today in the Congress and across the nation are fixated on reproductive issues. They want to stop those women. They want to stop those women from avoiding the consequences of being the sluts that they are. And this is the most important issue in the world to them. Let's talk about moral dry rot. Okay? Is the Arctic Ocean going to be ice-free by 2020? Are we going to have a rise in sea levels? Are we going to see shifting weather patterns turning currently fertile areas into deserts? Right, you know, there's been drought in the West. Serious drought in the West for years now. Are we going to allow the desertification of the earth? What happens when the currently fertile cropland no longer gets enough rain? What are we going to do then? How many people are going to go hungry? If we're not doing something about adequate energy sources, if we're not doing something about by the way, oil, petroleum, energy in the production of food. Are you ready for the food riots? And are you ready? Are you ready? What with your concern for morality? Are you going to allow food riots? Are you going to allow a rise in sea level? Are you going to allow the desertification of farmland? Are you going to allow disruption of food supplies because of disruption of energy supplies? This is a question for liberals too. Right? One of their big issues right now is the XL pipeline. We've got to stop it. If they build the XL pipeline, it's game over for the environment, which is nonsense. The environment is affected by consumption of energy, not by production of energy. It doesn't care what the source of the carbon dioxide is. And meanwhile, we need the carbon dioxide. We need the energy sources. The reason they're talking about exploiting those tar sands is because we need them. And if we don't need them yet, we're going to need them sooner or later. The reason that we have not hit peak oil is because the oil rose to a price level when it became profitable to exploit poorer sources of crude oil, heavy sours and tar sands, for example. Some people think it's immoral to exploit those sources because of the global warming. But if you curtail oil use, what's the best way to curtail oil use? You got a problem with global warming? What's the way to curtail global warming? How do you do that? How do you curtail global warming? Well, you stop burning as much energy. Cut down on the use of energy. How do you do that? Raise the price. Raise the price. If there's a source of energy that we simply just say we're not going to exploit that for us, we're just going to allow the shortage, we're going to allow shortages to accumulate, and we're going to allow prices to go up. Yeah, that'll get you reelected. But forget the election. Are you ready? I asked the conservatives, are you ready for the food riots when we kick them off welfare and there are no jobs? I asked the liberals, are you ready for the food riots when we don't go exploit the tar sands and energy becomes expensive and food becomes expensive and people can't afford it? And there were food riots in Egypt in 2006 because of the price of oil. It's already happened. And it will happen again. And are you prepared to accept the morality of that? Is it moral to allow that? Is it moral to allow people to go hungry? Oh, you should hear liberals talking about that they're cutting food stamps. People are going to go hungry. Really? Well, they're going to go hungry if you stop the XL pipeline. And if you don't stop the XL pipeline, you're not doing anything about solving the global warming problem. It's just not that easy, people. And meanwhile, we have this nonsense. Meanwhile, the big issue, energy, that leads to prosperity, that prevents more global warming, that issue, we can't get together on it, and we need to. I'm Joe Lyles. We'll see you tomorrow.
Thanks for watching, and don't forget to like, subscribe, and comment. You've been listening to Working Man Radio with Joe Lyles at joelylesradio.com.